Hello everybody, welcome to my channel Lewis and Art. I'm Sky. I hope you're having a wonderful day. So my last tutorial video, guys, you saw me test my new printer, and actually my new printer gave me the best quality print from the new settings that I configured. And if you missed that, do not worry, I will leave a card right in that top corner there. Click on it and I'll show you how to get the best print out of your printer possible, especially when you're making homemade trading cards just like I am doing right here, or anything to get that better quality print when doing your artwork. So today's tutorial is going to be how to go one step further, or try to go one step further to what I achieved in the last tutorial video, to getting something that's near enough like the Game Crafter version when you actually send your card game to the Game Crafter to be published. So from first glance, guys, you won't think there's any difference between the two types of cards, other than the fact that I printed my Killia from home and the Game Crafter printed my Eve using the Game Crafter. Now if I shine the light though and get a bit of light onto the card, you can see there is a little bit of difference between the two. That's because the Game Crafter use coatings when it comes to printing your cards. Now what do I mean by that? Well, when you actually go to set up your cards to be printed by the Game Crafter, you end up with a couple of options. Now the two options usually are if you want to have a gloss coat, which gives you this shiny effect to your card, or linen. Now not many people use linen because it leaves a horrible texture to the card, so most people just go for a gloss, and the gloss gives you this nice effect to your card. It makes it shiny. And with that said, guys, if we quickly take a look at my Killia card right here, which I printed on just matte photo paper in my last tutorial video, you'll notice there's no actual shine when the light hits it. Now that is something that I'm going to try to achieve, and hopefully it's something you guys can achieve from my tutorial today. And with that ambition in mind, guys, I'm going to bring in the cardstock now that I'm going to be testing in today's video. So the first cardstock we're going to take a look at, guys, is from the Inkjet Paper Girl, and I found this on eBay. And the reason I bought it is because it said it was resin coated. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I want to try coated types of cardstock to see if that's going to give us that extra quality we are looking for to get a shiny type of look to our cards, just like the Game Crafter do. So this is one we're going to be trying out. I have used cardstocks from this company before, but not this type, so this one will be fun to find out. So the next one is a bit misleading. When I had it delivered on eBay listing, it said it was coated glossy paper, but it's this one right here. But I'm still going to give it a go. And the last one I'll be trying out is this matte coated cardstock right here, which came in a big envelope. So they are the 3 coated cardstocks that I found, and I actually got some quite good reviews for them. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to do my usual test print. I'm going to do my test print on each one of these. But before I do that, if you guys are unsure how to actually do a test print, or actually how to set one up, do not worry, I will leave my tutorial right in that right corner there. Just click on it and it'll take you to my tutorial. I'll show you how to actually do a test print for yourselves and how to set it all up to get the best print and the best settings for your cardstock without wasting any money or wasting any material. But with that said, now I'm going to do my test print on each of these, and I'll be right back. So the first test print we're going to take a look at is the one that was called Cora, and this was double-sided. This was also matte coated. And this is one that came in a big envelope full of cardstock. So if we take a look at the results, so the plain paper result had a really nice contrast to the blues there. And then you got the matte photo paper, inkjet for khaki, high resolution paper, envelope and a khaki. Now for me, the ones that stand out the most are these two right here, which is the matte photo paper and the high resolution paper. Now we zoom in just to see how clear the text is. Each one actually printed the text really nice and clear. Apart from the plain paper one, you can see there's a little bit of fuzz around there. But other than that, this did a pretty good job. The downside I found with this was it was quite thin, as you can see. Even though the GSM was above 100, you can see that is very flimsy. Now if you're double-sided printing this, it will still have the same problem. But if you're using one piece of this as the front and one piece of this as the back, the thickness might be better. But for a card on its own, there's not really much structure to use this as a cardstock unless you're going to put a front and back of this together. And the other thing is, because this is matte, it's not going to have the sheen that we're looking for, but I thought I'd test it out because this is a actual cardstock that's been coated. Now if you're not after the shine but you're after a cardstock that's going to give you a really nice smooth finish with beautiful crisp text that is very readable and picks out the best colours and detail. Now the brand Cora does actually have different thicknesses for this cardstock. There's different types of GSM all the way to 300 GSM that I found. So there is 120, 160, 180, 200 and so on the thickness of this cardstock. So if you want to pick this up, I highly recommend it. It's just the actual GSM that I chose, the one that I'm used to for doing test prints, is sadly just a little bit too flimsy. But other than that, it's a really good cardstock. It just doesn't give you that shine because this is obviously a matte finish. So moving on now to our second test print. This was with the CEO Inkjet series cardstock, which was this right here, which is one that was a bit misleading because on the actual eBay listing it said it was a coated cardstock, not photo. But anyway, I'll put that off to the side and bring in the test prints that we did using it. And testing that cardstock with my test print, this is the results we got with this cardstock. And I will say straight off the bat, you get a beautiful glossy effect to your cards. Now this does look like the Game Crafter is near enough spot on to what the Game Crafter finish looks like. So if we take a look at the print settings here, you can see that the plain paper one has a lot more contrast to it, especially with the colour. But if you actually look at the matte photo paper to the plain one, the detail is more picked up in the border there. It's kind of lost in the plain paper. If we go across, the same with high resolution paper, that kind of has the best of both worlds. It has a very nice contrast and it's still able to pick up all the detail. Now when it comes to the writing and the icons, some of these are a bit faded. Now these two, the icons are a little bit saturated, as you can see there's a highlighted shine in detail in there. These look a bit flat. So I think the best print setting to use for this cardstock is basically the matte photo paper and the high resolution paper. Now the downside I found to this cardstock is quite thick. It's a lot thicker than this one, but it's not too bad. You could get away with it if you're going to use a double-sided print. So you're going to use one piece of this and print it on the front and the back using double-sided print, it would be fine. But if you're going to be using two pieces, one for the front of your card and one for the back of your card, to stick it together, your card's going to be quite thick. But the satin effect is really nice compared to the glossy. It doesn't have the chalky feel to it, and it gives you that near enough Game Crafter finish that we are looking for. So I'm really happy with that. So last but not least is the cardstock I got from Inkjet Paper Girl, which is this one right here, which was the resin coated. So if we bring in the test print, so if I raise this up to the camera for you guys, the first thing you're going to notice once this hits the light, you've got that beautiful gloss effect to your cards. And the other thing is, compared to these two, this actually prints a lot more brighter. The contrast of your colours is a lot brighter, and the depth of your colours between the blacks and your whites are a lot brighter as well. The text is a little bit fuzzy on some of them, but not too bad. It's mostly fuzzy on envelope than anything else. But again, the one that really strikes me is the matte photo paper one and the high resolution paper. Those two seem to be the best prints for most of these test prints. Now the possible downside is, unless you use a double print, if two pieces were stuck together, the GSM could be quite thick. So again, just like this one, if you're planning to just print on one side of this and then put it back through your printer to print through that to do double print, this will be fine. But if you're going to be using two pieces of this cardstock, for one for the front, one for the back, and then stick it together, this could be quite thick. Now the other downside to this is, I noticed because it's a hot day today and I'm handling this cardstock, my hands have got a little bit of moisture. So the trouble is, when you're actually making things with cardstocks and your hands get a bit of sweat on them, especially with glossy type, you end up with this problem. Now it's more a problem if you're using a gloss cardstock, but it isn't too bad. And then if we check the satin one as well, the satin one isn't as bad as the glossy. And just to show you guys, I've got the Game Crafter version of my Eve here, and now even the Game Crafter cards, if you've got some moisture on your hands, you're going to have the same problem. Even Game Crafter cards do stick. Now if you do encounter that problem, don't worry, it's just how moisture reacts to different types of coats like gloss and satin. But as you saw, it even happens to the Game Crafter card. So this is why I always sleeve my cards, to stop that problem. But you're not going to escape that problem when it's a warm day, where even Game Crafter cards will stick to your hand. So there we go. Anyway guys, so I just want to let you know, but from this experiment, from this cardstock, this coated type of cardstock that I found, that basically my opinion of this is, if you're after a TCG to have the look and the feel of a professional TCG with that nice shine to it, that nice smooth feel, then I would say coated cardstock is the way to go. Any one of these you'll be fine with. Obviously some are better than others, as I've mentioned. This is why I do the test prints. And with all that said and done, guys, that has been my final thoughts with coated cardstock. I never thought that material you could print on at home would get you something as near as the quality of a Game Crafter card or a mainline TCG that have been published in an actual publishing company and publishing printers. So to actually be able to print something off like this at home that matches something that's come out of a professional printing factory, I am literally blown away. And don't worry guys, I will leave a link to where you can get coated cardstock from in the description box down below. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Other than that guys, hope you have a wonderful day. Have fun making TCGs. Have fun making TCGs. And I'll be back soon with more tutorials, more videos real soon. Take care and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye guys.